so this is another story time in style. So I wanted to start off by saying that I have a few story times lined up for you guys, but I would love to share your guys' story times. So I would love to like read off a story that you guys have, and maybe I can give you guys my opinion. Let me know if that's something that you guys want to do. I have my email linked in my description box at the very bottom, HairByPierre@yahoo.com. If you guys have like any stories you guys want to share with me that you want like my opinion on, or you want me to give advice on, it could be like a part of this story time and style series where I'll start off by reading a post that you sent me. I'll style my hair and give you guys my opinion or advice on that particular topic. It could be anything. It could be a bad experience you guys had, a bad hair experience you guys had, advice, questions, whatever you guys want to ask me or tell me, or want me to like, I guess, discuss. If you guys have anything that you guys want to send to me, definitely leave that in my description. Email me is what I'm trying to say. If you guys want to see stuff like that, definitely email me and I will definitely do that, just so I can continue this story time and style. So I'm thinking about maybe making this a weekly thing, because I do wash my hair weekly. So yeah, just let me know if that's something that you guys want to see. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get into my story time, and this particular story time is about the time I got scammed twice. Well, not the time, it's 2 different times I got scammed. So I'll start with the first one. I had just graduated from college and I was looking for a job, and I was living in New York at the time because I went to college in New York, and I wanted to moved to Maryland. If you didn't know, I grew up in Maryland. I went to Maryland when I was 8 and a half, and I stayed there till I was 18. And graduated from high school there. And I moved to New York. I moved back to New York for college. And when I finished college, I wanted to move back to Maryland. And so I had to start applying to jobs and internships, mostly jobs for like I think about 2 months prior to graduation. So like March or April, I had started applying to jobs in Maryland to like kind of just get a head start on applying, so that by the time I got there, I would have a job. I didn't hear anything back from anyone. And so by the time I was ready to leave, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna go and stay there and just look for a job while I'm there and go on interviews while I'm there. So I decided to stay at the aunt's house, and before I arrived at her house, I had gotten a email from someone saying, I was applying, at the time I think I was applying on Craigslist a lot, because I don't think I knew about Indeed, or like, I might have, but I was applying on like AIGA, which is like a graphic design or like a design period website for people to apply to design jobs, and I was applying to Craigslist and whatever. So I was applying to jobs, and I got an email from someone saying that they wanted, an assistant. And at the time I was kind of like open to like, not any job, but like administrative jobs, just to like get my foot in the door, just so I can, so what I wanted to do was just like get a job in my field, but also if I got like an assistant job, I would be okay with that. I just wanted to be able to save money so that I can like establish myself in Maryland again by myself. So I was open to administrative jobs. So I got an email from someone saying, I work overseas, currently like in Switzerland, and I have my own company. It's like a watch company, and here's the website. And, I need somebody to help manage my money while I'm overseas. And saying like, when someone buys something, the money that will come in will basically go to this assistant, and they'll get a commission off of each. They'll basically like basically what he wanted me to do was cash the check, and I would get like a commission based off how much money was on the check. So he was like, so basically what you would want to do is like, let's say if it's $1,000, and you cash the $1,000, you take the money out of the $1,000, and then you wire transfer it to his account, the guy who's emailing me, but just calculate your own, he was like, just calculate your own commission from that. So like, let's say it's 10%, so you would take out $100 and then send me $900. So it was kind of, I don't know, it just seemed legit to me at the time. I never really had any issues with scams, never even thought about people scamming me before this. So I was just like, oh wow, that's a really easy job, and I can like do this from home, and if there's a bank near me, like I could definitely like just do this really easily. So there was like a bank that was up the street, but my aunt lived in a she lived kind of far from the bank, walking distance, so I had to take a bus. So basically I went to the bank. I arrived in Maryland, and I had this, sorry, back up. They mailed me this check, and it was a big check. It was like a larger than regular size check, and it said a check for $2,300. And I was like, oh, okay, so I get a 10% commission from this. So I calculated the commission, and then I was like, all right, when I get to Maryland, I'll cash it, because I was already like preparing to move, and I had already like packed my stuff and like all that. So my mom drove me down to Maryland, and I went to my aunt's house, and I came to her house, and the next day I planned to go to the bank to cash this check. So the next day, that's what I did. I was like, I'm gonna go to this bank and cash this check. And I had saved up all year. Like I had just, that was my senior year of college. I had 3 jobs. I had 2 internships and a regular job, and I was hustling. Like I was saving up so much money because I really was determined to move to Maryland. So I had money saved or whatever, and so when I got there, I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna go to the bank and I'm gonna cash this check and I'm gonna get my little commission. Like, this is what's up. This is a really nice little gig I could do while I'm waiting to get my design job. It's a good way to get money. I might be able to like move out without even getting my design. I thought it was like a good thing, and it would have been a good thing if it was legit. So I go to the bank, and the bank that I'm going to is like in a shopping center. So by the way, where I was at, where my aunt lived at the time, or where she lived or whatever, was Upper Marlboro. So I was at Upper Marlboro, which is in PG County near DC. So I'm in the shopping center. I'm waiting in line. It's a Saturday, mind you. So by the time I got to the bank, it was closed. So I had to go to the machine, thank God. And the machine only allows you to take out $800 at a time. So I cashed the check, and then as soon as I cashed the check, I tried to take out $2,000 and whatever. Well, let's just say I tried to take out $2,000. Let's say my commission, I don't remember, I'm bad at math, whatever. Let's say my commission was $300 and the check was for $2,300, and let's say I had to take out $2,000. All right, so I tried to take out $2,000, and the bank wouldn't, the bank machine or whatever, the ATM wouldn't let me because it was over the limit for that day and for that machine. So it was like the most you could take out is $800. So I was like, all right, I'll just take out $800, and then I'll just take out another $800, and I'll just take out another $800 until I get the money I want. So I took out the $800, which was fine. I tried to take out another $800, and it wouldn't work. The bank froze. Well, not the bank, but the ATM wouldn't let me. It was like, oh, you've reached your limit for the day. So I was like, dang, like, so I text the guy, because I had his number, the guy who sent me the check. And he's texting me like, oh, did you cash the check yet? I need it by today, this and the third. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it now. I'm at the bank. And I'm like, it's not cashing. Like, I was like, it won't, not that it wasn't cashing, but what the heck is this? It wouldn't let me take all the money out. So I was like, it won't let me take all the money out. I can only take out $800 at a time from my bank. So they were like, oh, you could just take out the $800 and do a money order to send the rest. That's like, you could just do that. So I was like, how do I do a money order? I never did money orders before. He's like, is there a Western Union near you? Actually, he actually knew where I was, and he found the Western Union for me. He said, there's a Western Union up the street from you. It was literally like up the street. So I was like, oh, okay, like I was like, okay, I found a Western Union up the street, like I'll just go there. He's like, okay, like that's fine, let me know when you've sent the money, basically. And so I go to the Western Union, I'm waiting in line, and I'm telling the lady, like, I'm trying to send over this amount of money, and and I also send this $800, because you could send, I think you could send the $800 with the wire transfer. Yeah, so she was like, okay. So she was like, oh, you want to send this much? Like, all right. And I was like, yeah. So she goes to do it, and she's like, oh, like it didn't go through. So she's like, oh, it's probably the machine, like whatever. So she does it again. It wouldn't go through. And she's like, your funds are like, your funds are declined or something like that. And I was like, what? And I was like, what? So she was like, yeah, your funds are declined, it won't go through. And I was like, what? So I'm like, all right. So I tell the guy that I'm working with or whatever that my funds were declined. And I was like, I'm gonna call my bank and find out like what happened. So so I try to call him. He doesn't answer the phone. He won't, the guy who I'm working with or whatever won't answer the phone. So I'm like, I called, like, I tell him like, I'm gonna call my bank or whatever. So he's like, oh, just try it again. Like, he's just like really pressing me about it. I don't remember if he told me not to call my bank or not, but I don't remember. So whatever. So I call my bank and I get this really rude lady on the phone, and I tell her, hi, like, you know, I'm trying to wire some money. You know, it's not working, this and third. So she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna like go through your bank account. She goes through it, says, oh, you're negative like $1,000, or like, which didn't make no sense because I had a few $1,000s of my own money in there, and then I had put that check in there too. So she's like, oh, you're negative like $1,000 or $2,000. I'm like, what? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I can't be negative. She's like, well, that's what the account says. I'm like, no. You need to like look at my account again and tell me like how I can put the money back in my account. She's like, well, you took the money out. I'm like, I didn't take the money out because I wasn't allowed to, because I was at a ATM, and the ATM only allows you to take out $800. Oh, mind you, I forgot to mention this. Once I realized that I couldn't get the once I realized that I couldn't take all the money out at once from the ATM, this is before I went to the Western Union, I put the $800 back in my account because I didn't want to like have money split up. I didn't want to have like $800 here and then $1,000 here. I didn't want to do that. So I just put the money back in my account, and I was like, I'll just transfer it all at once. That's what I was thinking. That would make like a smarter idea. So at this point I was like, I told her, I just put $800 back in my account. Like, there needs to be at least $800 in there. Like, there's no way. And she's like, well, that's what it is. And she was just so unhelpful. Girl, I just started freaking out. I was like going off. I just started yelling because I had just moved to Maryland. I had just saved all this money all year long from three different jobs, and I was just like, no, this is no way. And finally I realized, you know, fuck this bitch, excuse my French, and I hung up on her. So I called my mom. I'm freaking out and I'm telling her like, you know, what's going on, and I'm like, oh my god, like what the hell. My mom was like, Pierre, that sounds like a scam. And I was just like, what? And she's like, Pierre, that is a scam. Like, what are you doing? And I was just like, it is? And she's like, yes, like, do not answer their calls, do not respond to their texts. You can get in a lot of trouble with that, with your bank. Like, that's not cool. Like, you need to call your bank, just relax, call your bank again, and like talk to someone else until you get someone who's like civil. So that's what I did. I called again. I got this guy on the phone. He was super nice, and he basically told me, yeah, you know, you're probably dealing with a scam. Luckily, you know, when you try to take out the money twice, your account froze immediately, so you never sent any money over to him at all. So that's good. Like, your account froze, so you weren't able, when you try to send money over wire transfer, it didn't work because the bank had already froze your account. So I was like, okay. So they were like, so the money that's missing is the bank removing the money to protect you. So the money isn't actually missing, it's just like the bank removed it to protect you. So, you know, your money will come back within like this amount of hours, and that money, that check that you cashed, I do see that in here. And he was like, you know, don't touch it. Like, you know, if it's fraudulent, you know, you can get in a lot of trouble for this, and like, don't do that. And so I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? So they told me, let the check sit for like, I think it's between 2 weeks and a month or something like that, or like 3 weeks, something. I think it was like 2 weeks to a month. And he was like, let that sit, and when, you know, after a month, when it clears, it could take up to like 60 to 90 days to clear. Once that's up, then like, if it's still in your account, then it's a real check. If it's not, then it's a fake check. So I was like, okay. So he was like, don't answer any calls from this person, like, ignore them. So that's what I did. I ignored them, and then I was just so happy that I was able to keep my money, because I was just like, wow, like, that's crazy. I can't believe I just got scammed. And I just felt so violated. Like, yo, I'm just like a fresh graduate from college, just trying to get started in this world, and you're just gonna scam me, bitch. I was just like, that's crazy. So my mom, like, had to give me a pep talk, like, Pierre, I know you're trying to be independent and I know you're trying to do your own thing, and I know you want to, like, you know, make your own money and this and the third, but you need to, like, communicate with me when you're doing certain things. She's like, I could tell, because I could tell you, like, that if you're making a bad decision. She's like, you need to tell me when you're doing things, because you can't just, like, do stuff and think like it's always gonna be okay. Like, that wasn't cool. And come to find out, this is a whole other story. But when I told one of my friends about it, and she ended up telling me that happened to her, and some guy scammed her and gave her a fake check, but she went into the bank and got the money out. And because she got the money out, and I think she spent it, the bank ended up coming after her and wanted the money. And because she didn't have the money, they put a warrant out for arrest. So yes, guys, you need to be more mindful about, not you guys, but I mean, I do, but just putting it out there. If you get a strange email from something crazy or some foreign person talking about, you know, money and online, just like sketchy red flag stuff, don't even do it. So that was scam number 1. That was the first time I ever got scammed, and I was just like, what the heck? But luckily, thank God, I got my money back. I just decided to, like, finish the back section and the top and the side, and now I'm gonna tell you guys the second time I got scammed. So the second time I got scammed, I was at my grandmother's house doing my cousin's hair. I was doing like 2 of my cousin's hair. I think I had just finished one of them, and I was getting ready to start the second one. And I got a phone call from someone, and they were like, this is the IRS. Mind you, it was like in the summertime, so I had already did my taxes. It was in 2016, I believe. We're calling because you basically haven't paid your taxes, and we're going to, you know, if you don't pay them by, like, right now, basically, or pay something right now to show that you are willing to pay, we're going to, like, put a warrant out for your arrest, and we know that you live at this address, and this is your full name, and this is your birthday, and we'll come and arrest you. And I was like, what the fuck? And at the time, I was looking for a new job, and I was like, I can't afford to have a freaking warrant on my arrest. Like, I'm looking for a new job. Like, what the hell? So I was like, what? Like, so I'm thinking, like, so okay. The year prior, well, not the year prior, the year, like 2 years prior, I had owed the IRS like $3,000. And so I was like, I had paid the IRS a full $3,000 2 years prior. So I knew that, and that year, I actually didn't owe the IRS anything. I think I got money back, actually. And so I got money back from federal, but I didn't get my state money back yet. So I thought maybe like something was wrong with the state. I'm like, is there something wrong with like the state or something? Because I didn't get my money back yet. And basically they made me feel like something was wrong with my state taxes, because I do my taxes myself. And they made me feel like I like basically made a mistake on my state taxes. And so now because I made a mistake, they're gonna like penalize me for it. So I was like really scared, like, oh shoot, did I make a mistake on my taxes? Like, what the hell? Why are they like, do I owe? What do I owe? So they're like, oh, you owe like, they said you owe $3,000, like I think it was like $1,500, $3,000, something like that. And I was just like, I did have $3,000, but it was like my savings. And I was just like, I'm not trying to put $3,000 down on the damn IRS. Like, what the frick? Like, what the hell? So they're like, well, if you don't pay it now, we're gonna send them out. So I was like, fine, like I can pay $1,500 today. So I was like, I'll pay half. Like, I can pay $1,500 today. They're like, okay. So basically, I was like, so I can get my credit card. They're like, oh, we don't do credit cards. So we have to make sure like it's real money or something like that. I don't know why I didn't, because my boyfriend was texting me while I was on the phone, and he was just like, I was like, I had so much like anxiety that I was like, I have to talk to you later. Like, I just have to talk to you later. My mom, same thing. I'm like, look, I'm dealing with him right now. I have to talk to you later. My cousin was sitting there, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, yo, like, what the hell? Like, I was like starting to cry. I'm like, oh my God, I owe the IRS this much money. I was saving my money to do something else with that, and now I have to pay them. And they're like, oh, if I don't pay, they're gonna, you know, do my, like, file for like my arrest. Like, what the heck? Like, right now, they're talking about coming out right now to get me. Oh my God. So my cousin was like, look, I'll pay for you. So they were like, okay, so you have to get like some iTunes. I don't know why I fell for it. Like looking back, I'm like, yo, I was being freaking dumb. But like they're like in the heat of the moment, I think that's what they're good at, is that they know that you're like, everyone knows like you should not play with the IRS. And so it's like in the heat of the moment, I felt like, oh my god, oh my god, they're gonna like pretty much like put me in jail, or like the IRS is gonna get me. Like, so I wasn't thinking about like the fact that they wanted to use iTunes to like get my money. So basically I had to go like to a local CVS and buy like $1,500 worth of iTunes. So they come in, so iTunes at the CVS come in $20 packets, and so no, they come in $100 packets. So I bought like, I don't know, 15 iTunes packets, and I put my credit card on it, and I think my hair wasn't done, or I had a hood on, or I don't know. I didn't look like put together like as I normally do when I went, because I was like in a rush. So I was there, and in order to like I had already been on the phone with them for like an hour, because I was negotiating with them, because they kept putting me on the phone with different people. Mind you, one of the red flags was that the guy sounded like Arabic, or he sounded Middle Eastern or whatever. Now that sounds very like messed up and stereotypical, but a lot of the time, like the IRS, like I've never, first of all, I really doubt that the IRS is gonna have people that barely speak English talking to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that should have been, there was like so many red flags, but I just wasn't paying attention because I was so worried about getting arrested. So like looking back, like in a like a regular mind state, like I know that I was being a freaking dummy, but like I guess like at the time I was just not thinking or whatever. So, and that's their job. Their job's to isolate you so that you don't talk to other people, so other people can't warn you that it's a scam. Because I was like, well, hold on, I have my mom, well, if you hang, you know, we can't guarantee that. They were like, if you hang, you know, if you cross lines, we can't guarantee that, you know, we'll still be on the line, and in that case, we'll just go ahead and issue the warrant. I'm like, why can't I just call you back? No, there's no direct number to call us back directly, and I could tell you're a kind person and you want to pay, and basically just threatening you, and they bombard you to the point where you're just like, okay, so I just pretty much have to stop what I'm doing and cater to this. And that's pretty much what happens with that, is that they just bombarded me like, if you hang up or if you accidentally hang up, we're going to issue this this arrest. So I was like super careful. Like I was like, all right, fine, I'm not gonna answer any like calls I'm getting. I'm not gonna like really like, I'm gonna just try to get this done and get this out the way. Like forget it, I'll worry about the money later. So so I went to the CVS, and they're still on the phone with me the whole time, and they're like, okay, buy, you know, whatever the amount is that you're gonna give us, and with the iTunes or whatever, and you know, purchase them. So in order to purchase them, I had to put my PIN in, and to the, you know, like when you go to CVS and you use your debit card, you have to use your PIN. So I did that, and so they were like, all right, read off the back numbers to all the iTunes cards. So I read off the back numbers to all 15 of the iTunes cards. And so at the end of it, they're like, oh, okay, like I'm seeing now that you owe like an additional like $1,500 in fees. I'm like, what? Why didn't you mention this at the beginning? Why? You told me $3,000. Like, how? I haven't even paid you the full $3,000. How are you adding on more money? Well, it's a fee for us to do this. It's a fee for us to do that. And I'm starting to get really, really mad, because I'm like, no, hold up. This is stupid. How do I owe extra money but you didn't mention this extra money before? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And they're like, oh, something, like, well, if you don't pay it, we're gonna issue this arrest. And I'm like, well, I already made an attempt to pay, so what am I gonna get arrested for exactly? Like, I already tried to pay. That makes no sense. Like, whatever. And then I'm like going off. I'm starting to get really mad now. And then my mom's calling me, and I'm like I'm in the cab, freaking out. Like, my cousin's sitting there, like, she'd bought me Dunkin' Donuts because she knew I was like freaking out. And I was like, well, you know what? I don't have another $1,500 right now. I did, but I wasn't about to pretty much obliterate my entire savings. So I was just like, I don't have $1,500 right now, so I'm sorry, like, I can't do that. They're like, are you sure? I was like, excuse me? I don't know, something, when they said, are you sure? Like, are you sure you don't have $1,500? Like, that let me know, yo, hold the phone. I don't know, like something clicked for me. And I was like, yo, this is a scam. So my mom is still calling me on the other line. And I was like, so I clicked over. I said, Mom, these people, they're calling me saying they're the IRS. They already got $2,000 out of me or $1,500 out of me. Like, what the heck? I don't know. Like, my mom's like, Pierre, that's a scam. Are you serious? And I was just like, what? She's like, it's a scam, Pierre. It's a scam. Like, why would you pay a scam? I'm like, I didn't know it was a scam. Pierre, the IRS would never ask you to pay them over the phone, ever. No, they would make you do it either online or via mail. They would never ask you to do it over the phone, ever, ever, ever. I was like, seriously? She's like, yes, Pierre. I was just like, why? She's like, that's a scam. You just paid $2,000 to a scam. I was pissed. She's like, hang up the phone with them. Do not answer them. It was like the same situation like my mom, like, hang up the phone, like, get off the phone with them. So then basically I got the phone with them. Now I have to figure out how to get my money back because now I'm negative $1,500. So I call my bank and I'm like, hi, like, I basically told them that I like lost my card. I had no idea where it was and I have $2,000 missing on my account. So they were like, okay, we see this. I was like, I got a notification that I'm missing $1,500 on my account. And they're like, oh, we see this on your account. Where did you lose your card? I was like, oh, I don't know. I just realized it was missing today when I saw that I had $1,500 missing on my account. They're like, well, we see that someone used your car at CVS, which is down the street from you. And I was just like, really? Is that where it was? They're like, yeah. So in order for the person to have bought all what they bought from CVS, they would have had to have your PIN. And I was like, my PIN? They're like, yeah. So does anyone, like, do you ever like leave your PIN around? Is there anybody that you leave your PIN with? Hi. Hi. I'm telling a story. Is there anyone you leave your PIN with? Live in a house with multiple people. Like, okay, we're gonna basically send this to our fraudulent claim and see if we can get you your money back. I ended up getting my $1,500 back, and that was that. And I don't think I got scammed again after that. But the thing about it was I had wished that they would call me again because my brother told me, are you serious? How could you get scammed? Like, they call me all the time and I always just like mess with them for like a little bit, like an hour or two, and have them on hold for like an hour, and then they get mad and they stay on the line the entire hour. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I had hoped that they would call again and I could like mess with them to like get them back for what they did to me, but they never called again. So but yeah, those are the 2 times that I was scammed. And yeah, you guys need to just be mindful of who you talk to, who you give your money to over the phone, via money order. If it sounds sketchy, it probably is. Don't be like me. So yeah, that is the end of my story time. Again, if you guys have any stories or advice or questions or anything that you want me to like talk about on these storytime and style videos, please send me an email below, HairByPierre@yahoo.com, and I will read your stories and I'll shout you guys out if you'd like, or I could keep it anonymous if you don't want to be shout out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm like super mindful about scams now. Like, I don't play. Like, I don't, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not about to get scammed a 3rd time. So yeah, this is my wash and go. This will dry clear, don't worry. And yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope this was entertaining. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.